Gladstone Regional Council are committed to fostering a proud, involved and engaged community. The Gladstone Regional Council Community Investment Program provides financial support to local community initiatives, projects and events which promote community connections, regional enhancements, community celebrations and community education. For more information on the Community Investment Program, visit gladstone.qld.gov.au. Gladstone Regional Council. Connect, innovate, diversify.
Illegal dumping and littering is a concern across the Gladstone region, with over 134 offences in the last 18 months. Our region is beautiful, but there are a few bad apples that ruin it for the rest of us, and they need to clean up their act.
Commonly found items at illegal dumping sites across the region include car bodies and batteries, mattresses, tyres, white goods and furniture, and green waste. These items can be disposed of at any of the region's waste transfer stations, some of them even for free.
Illegal dumping and littering pollutes our environment, harms plants and animals, and detracts from the enjoyment of our public spaces. It can lead to stormwater and ocean pollution, with large amounts of plastic, sugar sachets, and cigarette butts caught in stormwater traps and grates.
It's cheaper for everyone to dispose of waste correctly. Illegal dumping and littering costs our ratepayers thousands of dollars each year in waste management and clean-up. It's also costly for our dumper, with penalties of up to $10,000.
We can all work together to keep our region beautiful and dispose of waste responsibly by placing rubbish in the bins, or even holding onto the rubbish until you're near a suitable bin, and using our local waste facilities. Don't be part of the problem of pollution. We want you to be a part of the solution.
From towns to the bush, illegal dumping and littering is everybody's responsibility. Protect our public spaces and natural environment by doing the right thing for today and tomorrow.
If you see illegal dumping,
Dob in a dumper.
See it.
Report it.
stop it.
Well, good morning. The time being 9 a.m, I declare open the general meeting for the Gladstone Regional Council for the 4th of April 2023. We'll call for apologies, councillors. We have received an apology from Councillor Goodluck. So can I get a move of that apology be accepted, please? Thank you, Councillor Branthwaite. Seconded, Councillor O'Grady. Put the motion. All in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Is there any other? Oh no, we have Councillor Churchill online. Thank you, Councillor Churchill, joining us online today. And all other councillors are present. The next item on the agenda is messages of condolence. Councillors, any messages of condolence? Okay, councillors, I have a message of condolence I'd like to read. And bear with me. Born in 1942, Norma Tanner, born to Norman Porter and Hilda Clifford. Norma and her older brother Bernie grew up in far north Queensland. Being a war baby might explain in part why Norma's home was always stocked with enough food to feed an army. Norma survived polio as a child, but she was never one to make excuses about why she couldn't do something. At All Hallows in Brisbane at the age of 13, Norma excelled in sport and music. Norma recounted many times that her piano skills were due to, in no small part, to the nuns dropping the piano lid on her fingers when she played the wrong note. At age 16, Norma met Reg, working as a clerk at the courthouse. 2 years later, they were married. Norma stopped working after their marriage and had 3 kids, Catherine, then Mick, then Tony. In 1966, the Tanner family moved to Gladstone, as Reg had taken up the role as the engineering manager of the Gladstone Harbour Board. This role would shape the family and Norma's life for the next 34 years. Norma may well best be known for her love of music. She was heavily involved in the Gladstone Musical Ladies Choir and, of course, the Light Opera Society. In the early years, she worked as an unqualified music teacher, and there was endless processions of young and old aspiring musicians and singers through the Tanner home. She played for many musicals, choirs for musicians, singers, masses, weddings, funerals, Eisteddfods, and, of course, the carols by candlelight. She played in bands, rang bells, and even took up the challenge to play an instrument she had never played before in the encore band. In her spare time, as only a young mother raising 3 children, she volunteered and campaigned to get a new kindergarten built. She raised money for sporting clubs and for charities and delivered for Meals on Wheels. She volunteered as an adult supervisor on school trips even after the kids had left school. That was Norma. Norma could be fiercely determined, though, whether it was pressing the Queensland Government trying to understand what the privatisation of the port would mean for the Gladstone community, or chasing down a new home for a musical group. She, at times, could be relentless, and some called her Stormin' Norma. But to us, and to most of us, she was Nana Tanner. A part of our Gladstone community that can never be replaced. A little piece of Gladstone's soul passed away when we lost Norma. Rest in peace. Thank you. All right, councillors, the next item on the agenda is... I've lost it. Where did it go? Here it is here. Prior notifications of conflicts of interest. Do we have any prior notifications? No, thank you. Any notifications councillors like to declare now? No, thanks. The next item on the agenda is the Mayor's statement. And I firstly want to start with our visit to Taiwan. We were invited over to Taiwan just recently, returned on Saturday at the invitation of the Smart City Summit and Expo. And for all the ratepayers watching online, they paid for my flights, accommodation and travel as well, and obviously expenses. So it didn't cost the ratepayers, as I understand, anything to send me, maybe a couple of taxi fares from airports. Very good value for money when you consider it probably cost us a few $100s to go to Taiwan. And we also invited Gary Scanlon, our Economic Development Manager, and of course Cameron from the Engineering Alliance and Luke from our university. A strong Gladstone delegation, part of a Team Queensland delegation, which was very well received and very well looked after, I might add, by Trade Investment Queensland in Taiwan. and they even paid for their accommodation as well, which was fantastic for our community. So the main reason they did that is so that we would do a presentation at a number of places on renewable energy, reaching net zero, and of course hydrogen, which I probably may have done that speech now 20 times or something in Taiwan, and I'm sure the other delegates from Queensland got sick of it, but between Gary, Cameron, Luke and myself, we certainly got the message across to our Taiwan counterparts, I guess you could say, particularly China Steel and CPC Corporation, but also a number of smaller Taiwanese businesses that are potentially going to invest in Gladstone and will be heading over here probably later this year. But our delegation from China Steel was so well received that the chairman asked us to do a second presentation the next day. So we had to quickly change our agenda and meet with China Steel again for a second delegation to represent particularly our ecosystem around the introduction of renewable and hydrogen industries into our local community. And it's all about decarbonising our existing industries. And one thing I want to say to those watching online, which I said many times, which was picked up by the Taiwanese, Rio Tinto's largest asset base anywhere in the world is here in Gladstone. 50% of their global emissions come from Gladstone, and they are spending $1 billion in the next 10 years to reduce their carbon footprint around the world. They are not closing down QAL, they are not closing down BSL, and they are not closing down Rio Tinto. They are investing in our local community when they could have quite easily made the decision to walk away. They want to produce green alumina and green aluminium, and they're going to do that by investing in our community. And Taiwanese companies can see that, and they want to be part of it. So it's pretty good news for Gladstone. It's not just Taiwanese companies, it's obviously Japanese companies and Australian companies as well. So good news for Gladstone, and certainly a very, I guess you could say, successful delegation to Taiwan, considering also the cost was very limited to council. Last weekend we also saw in Gladstone the Tenem Crab Classic. Unfortunately I missed it because by the time I got home I needed to catch up on a bit of sleep, but no doubt it would have been an amazing event in Tenem Sands. This weekend coming up in Gladstone, well, if you don't know what it is, you've been living under a rock. It is Easter in Gladstone, and it is all about the Brisbane to Gladstone Yacht Race, our Harbour Festival, and our Brisbane to Gladstone Village. So in our village, of course, we have the opening party on Thursday night, which is an 80s theme. We've got the long lunch on the Friday, the under-18s event on the Friday night, the seafood festival all day Saturday and Saturday night is free entry to attend that, and of course the line crossing party as well, which is free entry too. And then of course the Gladstone Harbour Festival starts on Thursday night as well. 3 nights of fireworks, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday I believe, but certainly check out the Harbour Festival website for more information. And live entertainment on stage every night, and Gladstone Regional Council sponsored night is the Saturday night, and I'm sure that'll be an amazing entertainment on stage there as well. We also have the Harbour Cruise, which is sold out, so unfortunately if you want to do that you'll have to wait now till next year. And there's the Fun Run, the Raft Regatta, and so much more happening in the Gladstone region over Easter. Make sure that if you've got family and friends who don't know what they're doing this Easter, invite them to Gladstone. They'll certainly be glad they did. We also have the Sailing Matters exhibition at the Gladstone Regional Art Gallery and Museum. And if you want to step outside the city for a bit more entertainment, the Boyne Valley Music Camp Out is on this weekend as well. So much happening in the regions, specifically around the city this weekend, with of course the 75th Brisbane to Gladstone Yacht Race, which will be live streamed from 10 a.m. on Good Friday, and the race starts at 11. And I think I've said before, but I'll say it again, I'm on board Skimmer, and hopefully we can sail home safely sometime Sunday afternoon, and look forward to councillors welcoming us into the harbour. Should be a good race, although I'm not sure about the weather. We'll see how we go. Thank you, councillors. The next item on the agenda is a confirmation of the minutes. G 2.1, the confirmation of the general meeting minutes for the 21st of March 2023. Can I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Churchill. Or was that a question? No, he's moving. Thank you. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Cameron. Put the motion all in favour. The motion is carried. Deputations. What's this? Meeting recommences. No, sorry. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the officers' reports. G 4.1, review of the records management policy, and I'll hand over to the General Manager of Finance, Governance and Risk, Mark Holmes. Thank you, Mark.
Morning, Mayor. Morning, councillors. This item is for your consideration with respect to review of our records management policy. So our records management policy, as you would note, was last reviewed back in 2014, so it's been a long while between that review. But but certainly that has now been reviewed by both all of council officers and our governance team, just to see its relevance and how it actually works for the organisation. What the team is proposing is that we adopt a records management corporate standard and we actually repeal the policy itself. The policy, as you'll note, is probably very operational in nature, and we see that probably it doesn't necessarily set out a strategic intent. So I guess the recommendation from officers is that we repeal the records management policy, and instead we basically go through and endorse a records management corporate standard, which will be regularly updated and reviewed as we need to make sure we keep pace with those records and information management needs of the business.
Thank you, Mark. Questions to Mark, please? No? Councillor Hanson, happy to move that?
Happy to move.
Thank you.
Officer's recommendation.
Move Councillor Hanson, seconded Councillor Branthwaite. No further questions. I put the motion. All in favour. Motion's carried. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is G4.2, which is arboriculture and associated services. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item is a review of our register of pre-qualified suppliers for arboriculture and associated services. So we've gone out to the market to seek interest for essentially the wide range of arboricultural services that we seek from time to time, and to see whether there was any additional providers that may be able to supplement our current offerings in that space. We have gone through and did receive a submission there from Boyne Island Property Services, and the recommendation is to proceed with that.
Thank you, councillors. Questions, please? Councillor Branthwaite.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is this just adding to the list of preferred
Yes.
suppliers?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No worries. Move Councillor Branthwaite, seconded Councillor O'Grady. No further questions. Put the motion. All in favour. Thank you. Carried. Next item on the agenda is G4.3, which is trade services building refresh as well. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so this item is with respect to a similar process we've had for our registered pre-qualified suppliers for our building trades. We sometimes go to the market for various works across the business, ranging from carpentry, painting, labouring, plastering and general building works. We did receive a number of submissions with respect to that register of pre-qualified suppliers, and there is a recommendation to go and endorse the 4 submissions there from as listed.
Thank you, Mark. Questions to Mark, please? It's a pretty easy one as well. Move it, please. Thank you, Councillor Cameron. Seconded Councillor Muscat. No further questions. Put the motion. All in favour. That's carried. Easy one. There we go. All right. Thank you. The next item is G4.4, council attendance at the 2023 Developing Northern Australia Conference, and it's back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our General Manager of Strategy and Transformation, Carly Quinn's with us to take us through the council attendance at the 23 Developing Northern Australia Conference. This is around seeking approval for Councillor Branthwaite's attendance at that conference, but we thought it was probably, in case there was questions about, I guess, why we're attending and what we're doing while we're there, Carly will be able to answer those questions for you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I thought the same date, Daryl, you were going to a different conference. So has that changed?
No. The General Assembly?
No, the Bush Council's conference is the same time.
Oh. Well, he won't be going to that one then.
No, I wasn't.
In the Gundawindi?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I didn't put my hand up for that one. I don't think so.
Okay. Not a problem, I'm sure that you did, but anyway, it's okay.
It can't be in 2 places at once. I try often.
The recommendation there, mate.
Councillor Churchill, question?
Happy to move the recommendation.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Churchill, who has represented us many times at that conference. Thank you very much.
And we've been attending every year, and there is extremely great value that can be, and it's a two-way street, because we've also presented at a couple of these Developing Northern Australia conferences as well.
We certainly have, and if we remember correctly, at one point they tried to drop us out of Northern Australia, so it's very important we remind them that we're part of it, because there's a big bucket of funding that comes with it, so we are part of it. We'll be part of any part of Australia if there's money involved, and we'll make sure that it gets back money for our local community. Carly.
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I just wanted to also update councillors that we have submitted to present on the Gladstone Region Economic Transition Roadmap at this conference. They haven't issued the agenda, but that's likely we'll be presenting again.
Excellent. Councillor Branthwaite, good luck. You'll be fine.
I actually look forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to flying the flag and promoting our region in the bigger platform with bigger landscape. It's quite an honour to be actually invited along. So thank you.
And when you tell that story of our roadmap and you show them the ecosystem, which we just did in Taiwan, and you will do in wherever the Northern Australia
Darwin.
conference is, Darwin. There you go. We try and get one here one year. People are amazed at what we have here, what we have to offer here, and the opportunities for our community going forward is huge.
I see that every week, Mr Mayor.
I bet you do. All right, so that was moved, Councillor Churchill. Do I have a seconder yet? No, I'll need a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Hanson. Any further questions? No, I'll put the motion. All in favour? The motion's carried. Thank you, Mark. Thanks you, Carly. It seems a very quick agenda this morning. I'm sure I can rely on Councillor Churchill to have a councillor report. What? Okay, nothing there. Well, any other councillor reports? There's no written reports. Do we have any verbal councillor reports? Councillor Muscat, don't let me down. You must have something happening this weekend. So much.
There's always lots of things happening, but
Excellent. Yeah. No, all good.
we don't want to say, it's sometimes difficult because we go to so many things, but then... Sorry. Yeah, we go to so many different places and you don't want to mention something and then leave some other people out. But anyway, just follow our Facebook pages, you'll see.
Yeah, there's plenty there, absolutely. I do follow all your Facebook pages. Councillor Branthwaite and then Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just to follow up on what you brought up with the Tannum Crab Classic last weekend, I was actually hosting the event on Sunday, and I have to say that it was, even though it was wet, the TP, the Tannum pub, was the fullest I've ever seen it. And they raised just over $33,000 that afternoon. It was just a fantastic afternoon, and it was just wonderful. Many, many charities supported it. It was all against, advocacy against child bullying and so forth. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, and it was really nice to see the whole community get behind it. Oh, by the way, the exit was the richest mud crab race in Australia, because Ernie Vaughan, who organises it, when they go off the amount raised in the auction of the crabs, and it was over $14,000 raised just through the auction. So Vicky Brown from down the real estate agent, an extraordinaire and auctioneer, she was auctioning all the crabs off, and the prize money that was up for grabs was $4,000. So the richest mud crab.
Did look like a pretty big muddy that won too.
Yeah, there was a slippery track though. There rain affected, and it was a slide actually. Anyhow, it was
a heavy 10.
Yeah, it was 2.2 kilos that crab.
Yeah. Councillor O'Grady.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to congratulate you on becoming a grandfather. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, beautiful little Sailor May. She's just over 3 weeks old now. 6th generation Gladstone local. Gorgeous little girl, but thank you. I will mention one more thing before we close the meeting, and that is congratulations to Gladstone BMX. I can't remember what the event was on the weekend, whether it was state championships or titles, but Councillor O'Grady might know. But I live on Sun Valley Road, and the cars were all the way, the whole car park was full, all the way to the railway crossing, over the railway crossing into Talina, and all the way up to my house. So a massive event, and probably the largest event I've seen there.
So yeah, I'll just,
please.
there was over 700 competitors each day, so this was a series 1 and 2 of the round. Then they have to, I think, compete in 8 different events to actually be into the state title. So yeah, it was absolutely huge. It was, and I think the oldest person was 60 that actually, so it was just incredible. But it was just madness there, so yeah, it was awesome.
Excellent, it certainly was. I've seen a lot of BMX events over there over the years. I've never seen the cars that overflowing. Anyway.
And they asked me to thank council for the work that they had done with the slashing and with the snipping along that road that they go into. They said they did a fantastic job, so thank council for that.
No worries. Well, we made an investment in that complex a few years ago. to attract these sorts of events. And since then, this is probably at least the third, if not the fourth, major event. And you can see the investment in supporting that community group at the time was definitely the right decision for our community. I can't imagine, although I'm sure Bruce and others will be able to tell us the economic benefits to our community that brought in. Okay, no further council reports. There's no urgent business. There's no notices of motion. And we have no confidential items. So a very quick meeting this morning, and I declare the meeting closed at 9:25 a.m. Thank you.